Hey, let's get ready. Welcome. That you thought you ever had it, no, you ain't from the start. Hey, I'm glad you're back with your bitch. I mean, who would wanna hide this? I will Here we go. Ever be your side chick. I put the sing. Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm gonna get ready. Welcome to Mexican Excellence. My name is Citlalli Nawak, and tonight I have the biggest honor of having my homegirl, my sister, my beautiful, beautiful soul that I've met, Elena from BrooklynWarmi. I'm going to go ahead and invite her on. Let me lower the music. We're getting ready. Let's get cozy. Get your drink. Elena!
What's up?
Hey!
I'm a little shy.
Hey, it's all good. However you feel comfortable. I'm really grateful. I'm
First
really
of all, can we
grateful.
talk about the beat though?
Oh,
Can we talk about the beat though?
yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, your bangs look so much better than mine. I cut mine like 3 days into quarantine. They look terrible. Okay.
Oh
How
my
are
goodness.
you?
I'm doing good. I'm really happy. I've been really preserving my energy for tonight. Like I'm like, okay, it's gonna be. I've been wanting to talk about this. I've been wanting to amplify you in this way. I've been wanting to just. So I'm so grateful for you, Elena, for you to accept the invite to talk and have a charla. Because you know, even though I'm a historian and all this, like I'm not a one-dimensional person, and and especially in this movement of self-love, of reclaiming, of embracing who we are, and what is some people call decolonization, the whole idea of bodies and being in different bodies. We're gonna get into Fatphobia. We're gonna get into shaming of our bodies, of a lot of dimensions. And so first and foremost, everybody, before we get started, this is Elena from BrooklynWarmi. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, you're
Elena?
pronouncing it right. Yes.
BrooklynWarmi. Beautiful, beautiful. Elena, for folks who are just tuning in tonight, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself? And then we're gonna get into the journey.
Okay.
So who is Elena?
My name is Elena, and I am the creator of BrooklynWarmi, a jewelry line, accessory line, more what I really like to call my second birth, so my baby, where I just try to show a lot of love to Southern Indigenous folks, while, you know, living in the diaspora, a lot of my adoptee folks, because that is what I am. I'm also adopted, but don't ever get it twisted. I am Quechua, I am Indigena, and I will forever hold those titles, those identities. And I really do like to identify as a fat, brown-skinned Quechua, Indigena, Andina woman. So I embody all of that in my line, I think. I mean, maybe I'm marketing wrong, but that's genuinely. And tonight I decided to pull out my worthy hoops because, you know, we're worthy of self-love. So thank you so much for having me on this.
Thank you, Elena. Wow, beautiful. Let's talk. Let's talk about your journey, Elena. I know when we show up online where we are now, and first and foremost, I've been following you for a few years now. I know on Instagram, I have a love-hate relationship with Instagram, but I'm now on Instagram, so we'll leave it at that.
I have followed you for like over a decade, okay? Since I was like 19. Oh, wait, I can't tell my age. Okay, it's okay. I've been following you for over a decade, and I would genuinely say you are one of, in my mind and in my eyes and in my soul, one of the pioneers of this decolonization movement. And to see you so highlighted, even back when I was young, was so empowering, because this decolonization movement was so long ran by men, right? And to see you just really stand in your light and stand in your power was so amazing to me as somebody who was 19 and really starting the journey of decolonization process, not just identity, but decolonization. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
shout
you.
out to you.
Thank you so much. And what I want to say is that ever since I followed you, like every time you post something, every time you write something, every time you express yourself, I feel so aligned. I feel so alive. I feel so like, oh my gosh, like it just energizes me in such a way that I'm like, wow, like I'm so grateful that you exist. I'm so grateful that whatever you went through to get here, that you are going through it and you're here now. Because I think what people don't see when we show up is what happened all these years before led up to you now, right? And we're talking about self-love. We're talking about
Absolutely.
decolonization. We're talking about bodies. Can you tell us what led you to be who you are today as whatever you're comfortable with? I know that's a lot,
I
but
listen, I'm like, I can feel it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to cry. This is exactly why I didn't put like under eyeliner or a lot of mascara. um, I'm a big crier, so get ready. And those who like know me in person know I be crying for everything. We could be like, we're out of ice. I'll be like, we're out of ice. But yeah, it's wow. My journey. I like to say that I started knowing my identity at 15. Just like so I'm adopted from Peru, and just like every other and I grew up in New York City, so I want to make that clear. There's a difference, I think, with adoptees who grow up in very rural white areas, and so I don't have that same experience. I grew up in New York City. I grew up in Brooklyn, and I love it. If I had to be, and like I always hate saying this because it sounds so bad, but had I had to be displaced to anywhere, I'm very happy that it was in New York City. This is where I learned and started my activism. I don't even want to say activism because I feel like we have that word has been so overused over time. I'm just somebody who loves a lot. I'm somebody who cares a lot. And yeah, I met my biological mother when I was 15, at a really weird point in my life. Just like every other kid, I was wilding out. Like I didn't know what to do with myself. And I was able to find her and meet her. And kind of from there, we started okay, so I'm not Latina. Okay, so I'm not Hispanic. And those titles never really seemed to really grasp who I was, or who I am. Because I don't look, to me, growing up here in the city, like you only could be a few things. You could be Puerto Rican, Dominican, or Mexican, right? That's all. I never heard of other Peruvians, or other Andean folk. And it did something. I was like, all right, I'm Peruvian, but then I had to go to a whole story. But it really stuck with me that my mom is Quechua. My mom is a beautiful Quechua woman, and I'm just her. Literally, people will see me and my mom's name is Soila, but people will see me and be like, oh, that's Sole, like little Sole. That's what they called her. And it's just, that's where it starts. Knowing that I am my mom's daughter, and I carry that title with a lot of pride. That's my mom.
beautiful.
Yeah. I'll say that's where it starts.
Yeah. Elena, and we're talking about embodying self-love and what that means at the different dimensions that we exist as people, right? We exist in the physical form, we exist in the mental form, the spiritual form. I want to talk about that because I think I know that in this movement of decolonization and reclaiming, the emphasis, it seems to always be on the thinner bodies. Yeah, no shade to our thinner relatives,
No
right?
shade, but like
No
few
shade,
eye
but
roll.
that, and I myself am, I've always, I don't know, I'm big, I'm chunky, I'm chubby. Like, that's the way
Baby,
I
are you
call myself, right?
beautiful? What are you talking
Thank
about?
you.
What are
No,
you
I
talking
like
about?
that. I like that about me. But, you know, but because being on the front line, I experience a lot of that fat shaming. I experience from not just random trolls on YouTube. I'm talking about within our circles,
Oh
within
yeah.
people equate being decolonized with being thin. I'll share
Mm-hmm.
one example. One time I posted a picture of me working out. Never again, okay? But
Yo,
anyway,
I feel you.
and,
I have my trauma with it too. I'm right there with you.
and, and
Never
somebody
again.
posted some random whatever posted, wow, like yeah, like mentally you got it, like decolonization, but you need to work on the physical. I can help you with my like, I don't know, fitness plan. And I'm like, whoa, like I've been on this journey for 26 years and that shaming does not go away,
It
right?
doesn't.
And I want to highlight and amplify these conversations because there's so many of us that look like this, that
Mm-hmm.
that are feeling like, oh, we are not good enough, we're not
Mm-hmm.
decolonized enough, like fuck, like I don't look like this native model, or I don't
Oh
look like
yeah.
this, because well, you know, I've been told, and people, and I see it online, that decolonization equals thinness, right?
And white and I'm gonna say it, but a lot of
Yes,
whiteness, you know.
yes.
It does. That's literally what it is. You know, you can't really see through this camera, but baby, this is a whole brown body, okay? Like,
Woo!
um, I'm really sorry you had to go through that. That's terrible. Terrible. But
And so,
literally what you're saying, it's like these things stick with you. And
mhm.
this is probably one of the reasons why I have such trouble public speaking, because I am so nervous of getting in front of a crowd. And just like you said, people equate decolonizing with thinness, right?
Mhm.
Um, and scared that people will pick me apart when I've
Mm.
spent a majority of my life loving myself beyond the physical,
Whew.
beyond what people would have wanted me to look like. And you know, it's a little easier to do that here in the United States
Mhm.
than it is to go back home and do it, because back
Mhm.
home in all the families like are in your face. Like fat phobia is in your face. um whew, this last trip, as the years have gone on, I've gained a lot of weight just from life, getting older, but I'm still very strong. My body was literally made like for cold weather, where my mom is from in Puno. um I have really broad shoulders. I have really thick calves. Um, and I, you know, I have really thick like legs, but you know, I'm all belly, and and that's not enough. You know, it's not enough for people. Um, and when you go back home, everybody's in your face. All the tias are like, "Ay, gorda, gordita," like, you
Mm.
know, and I'm just like, okay, but like nobody's complaining, you know. Like, I feel like I've gotten so used to with comebacks, um and I shouldn't have to, but I always
Mhm.
prepare for it, um because it's so ingrained in me to have a comeback, because that's my protection, you know. Like, and what, fat and what, like, who
Mhm.
cares?
Mhm.
There's no groups that I've ever heard of or seen, so maybe if somebody could point me in the right direction, um back home, where it is a self-love, fat inclusive group, because there's self-love and then there's like fat phobia, because
Mhm.
people equate also self-love with being thin and
Yep.
like super model, right?
Yep.
And that's not what it is. Like, it's not. Here at least we have groups where it's like, I don't know, that just groups that embody self-love for bigger bodies, and
Yep.
it's easier here. That is the only thing like that's really different. Whew, sorry, I just kind of went on
Yep.
a tangent. Please.
No, no, thank you. And you know, and I want to share with folks that this whole obsession with thinness, and it's a very colonial constructed idea, very modern idea, because
Mm-hmm.
if you look at of the civilizations of Abya, like
Mm-hmm.
from Tierra del Fuego to Mesoamerica to even some of the our tribal relatives in the north, you see
Mm-hmm.
the statues of our ancestors, and they're not thin, like
They're
small
not
little
thin
figurines. Like there
at
is
all,
diversity, but there's big, like bodies, beautiful
baby.
bodies, not one shape, not it like, and and I look at that and I'm like, I need to remind myself that myself as I'm like watching these freaking novelas and what, like things that bombard me. And I
Mm-hmm.
remind myself, like, no, like, look at what our ancestors left behind. Look at this. Look at what they were reflecting. They were
Mm-hmm.
reflecting our bodies. And this whole idea now that one type of body is beautiful, one type of complexion is beautiful, there's oneness trying to homogenize so much beautiful, diverse nations and tribes is really important. It's really important to understand that
Mm-hmm.
our bodies are sacred in all the dimensions, and and this is a big thing because as you're talking about, we're decolonizing, we're on this movement, and we see this out there, right, in the social media aspect. Then at home with our families, I grew up that same way too, where Tia's shaming me to this day. Ay, Misha. Ay, if only you this and only, and it's such a heavy,
Burden.
conversation
Mm.
because you're like, that there's pain with that, that they're coming from what they're experiencing. But, I want to talk about that, Elena, for yourself. How did is that something that naturally came to you? Just like, no, this is myself. I'm fat, I'm brown, I'm beautiful. What was it like for you to come to that point? What was it? What helped you? If it's not something that came natural to you, what was that process like for you?
It's still a process. It never goes away. It never goes away. The fat phobia that I've endured never goes away. Um, you know, I, we do highlight. I want to continue to say this. A lot of the people that we highlight are lighter complexioned and thin. And that a lot may have to do, and I give everybody grace. Like I learned from my friends different things, and one of my friends, Angie, has taught me like you have to give grace not just to other people but for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us really did grow up thinking mejor la raza, right? You know,
Mm,
and a very colonial way of thinking where it's like uh beauty comes in thin and white. And
yeah.
um I just want to say it's always a process. Every day I wake up um and I think, okay, you know what? Let me be very honest with you. I don't own a full-length mirror. I have never owned a full-length mirror in the last 15. No, I'm lying. Not 15 years. Maybe like 10 years. And there's a reason for that. It's because one, I didn't want to deal with the shame of looking at myself, but two, also I didn't want to pick myself apart, not shame, but I didn't want to pick myself apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to decide I want to be confident when I put on clothing because I like it, because I think it looks cute, not because I'm going to cry, not because the mirror tells me that I'm okay, but because I know and I can walk about this house feeling 1,000%, and I don't need a mirror to tell me nothing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's been very hard because I also have to remember, like, I'm beautiful because my child is beautiful. Like my child is to me, like my child is the most beautiful person in this world. And I'm beautiful because my mom is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like who am I to deny her of her beauty, of this indigenous beauty that I never really got to see growing up. Um, my sister is beautiful. My brothers are super beautiful. And like to not be able to say, if I don't say it to myself, like if I have a moment and I say, damn, Elena, you're not looking great today, I kind of got to snap myself and be like, no, you look like you're working, you look like you're tired, you look like you look like you've had a long day, but you don't look bad. You know, I'm just human. And it's just a naturally long process to get to this point of making sure that I'm okay. Check myself in and say,
Mm-hmm.
the things that you think you're feeling aren't really what you feel. It's just what you've heard for your entire
Mm-hmm.
life. And to move past that really is just thinking of my family. I feel like my words sometimes get like chopped up from here to here to here to here, but I hope the point is coming across.
Yes,
um,
loud and clear, Elena, loud and clear. You
but
know,
yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm trying not to cry.
I think that, and with what you're doing publicly, right? Like sharing that, um, I think it's creating a space for a lot of folks to feel, to start like an introduction, because I know self-love is a process that a lot of us are working on. And and I think when people show up like yourself and are authentic and like, yes, and like, I'm telling you, I've been following you, like it even helped me, like you showing up with your beautifulness and saying, yes, I'm brown, I'm fat, I'm like, fuck, like that, to see that already in me, it makes me feel like, fuck yeah, like fuck this fucking diet from fucking the swap meet, like, because it's a daily thing. And I'm like, fuck, like it's so liberating for, I'm sure, other people too that are watching this that can relate, when you see someone that's being very brave and courageous. It takes a lot of fucking courage to stand up and be like, this is me. And the beautiful pictures that you posted, like I'm telling you, like y'all got to follow her page and see what I'm talking about. But it's presenting yourself in a way that does not get presented, that does not get amplified, and creating a space for folks to feel like, yes, I'm fucking beautiful. Yes, like I am still like on this path, and I don't have to try to like, get thin body. Like this is my body. It's a sacred body, and it's gonna come in whatever shape it is. And I'm telling you, Lena, what you're doing with showing up is really, really transforming people. Um, and I wanted to get into that too. You write a lot of things that I'm like, she's a poet. Like maybe you don't see yourself as a poet, but there's this one that you wrote about fat Andean bodies, and like I'm like,
Oh
and
yeah.
because you have your post read, and bam, it's like really potent poetry that's like, fuck, like it's very powerful, and I want people to follow you, and I want people to see that, because we need more of this, right? Why aren't we seeing these type of different bodies, and especially amplifying brownness? I myself am I'm a lighter sister, and I'm really aware of that. I'm very conscious of that. So I'm trying to like, okay, how do I navigate this world and obviously use that privilege, but also make sure that I'm amplifying, do whatever I can, because to me, it's this beauty that is repressed, that is denied, that is not being centered to our people. And that's what I'm like, I want this to be done. I want to show this, and I want people to know, especially like the little ones, whether they're women, they're men, they're little niños or niñas. Now is the generation where they're listening to us, and you have a child, right? They are watching you, and I think the work that is being done, and myself too, I'm just a new mom, so I have a little boy. It's like, what are we doing for their reality to be different, for they not to feel the same that we felt, like these struggles and challenges? What would you tell someone that's watching you, say a 13-year-old girl, right, who's chilling, watching us right now, who is fat, who is brown, who is beautiful, but doesn't know it yet? What would you tell her or him?
I have an 11-year-old, so who is about to be 12. So we're already having those conversations. And I hear like myself a lot of the times when they speak. Um, and I'm just like, yo, like, you're beautiful. You are so beautiful. No matter what, it doesn't really matter. Even Your body is beautiful. You know, your body is so beautiful. Your body is what is keeping you alive. And how you treat people is really the emphasis of beauty. And people watch. And that is the reason, one of the main reasons why I started my business is because I don't see a lot of me out there, fat, brown bodies doing things. There's a few, and I don't know their names off the top of my head, who I see amplify like the art of fat bodies, but I can't not do anything for my child. I need to do it for them. Like, they deserve to see their mom say nice things about herself. Like, I have to say nice things about me so that they can learn to say nice things about them, because that is how we teach our children self-love. You know, I really try not to pick myself apart on a daily basis, like, because I don't want them to do it to themselves, because it's not okay. Like, it does something to your mind. When people make fun of you, it does something to your mind, and it makes you think horrible things about yourself that really aren't there. And the kids deserve better. They deserve people who really just, you know, it's also about who you put around you. Like, the first time I did a naked photo shoot, I couldn't even get fully naked. I was so ashamed. I was like, I've never been naked around anybody. And my homegirl, her name is Connie. She took pictures of me. She was like, bitch. Sorry. She was like, bitch, take the bra off. Take the bra off. And I was like, oh my gosh. What do you mean? I'm really trying not to like mess up my makeup. But she was like, take the bra off. And I was like, okay. I'll take it off. And it's just kind of been like a roller coaster from there. I feel it in my throat that I want to cry. But it's a roller coaster, and not every single day is a good day. Not every single thought is a good thought, but it's how I've learned to let my body react, you know. And I also want to say, like, people think this concept that you can't be fat and sexy at the same time, also being in this decolonization movement. Like, it is so hard to already be in this movement, which is like, I think it's turning, you know, I feel like this movement has turned into something completely different from when it started, right? You know, when I first started being this decolonization movement, I wouldn't say I was in it. I would say like we were really just showing up to places to do work, right? I was 19. Anything that needed to be done, I was there, right? You needed me for protests, I was there. You needed me to make signs, I was there. You needed me to email people, I was there, right? Now it's all on social media. And decolonization has to move past social media. It has to be in the way that we act on a daily basis, and decolonizing yourself enough to also love yourself within the process is something in and of itself. And to feel sexy and be okay with feeling sexy, because all these TikTokers be looking sexy, you know, and it's okay because they're thinner. But as bigger folks, like, we have to really be like, okay, my sister just came in. We have to really think about, you know, how we look, how we present. And I feel like I've gotten to the point where it's like, there's moments where I'm like, damn, I'm a sexy ass, you know, like,
say
I'm
it.
a sexy ass bitch, and I can still be in this movement, you know.
Yes.
And to still decolonize. And there's things on a daily basis that we have to do outside of Instagram, outside of TikTok, outside of it all, that really go into how we treat the people that we're in this movement with as a whole, right? It's how we treat people that's the real beauty. How we're able to navigate conversations is the real beauty outside of social media, because this is only one aspect. but unfortunately it's where we have to show our faces in order to kind of get heard. And it's harder when you're bigger. It's harder when people have constantly attacked you because you're bigger. Again, public speaking is not my thing, because I'm always like, if I stand up here, who out there is thinking that I'm fat? Because you're not wrong, but don't say it to me. You know, it's just years and years of bullying, of teasing, of why are you wearing that? No, you can't wear that, you know, and it's just like, no, I'm gonna hold my sign and I'm gonna say what I have to say in my bralette, okay? And my belly hanging out, and everybody just has to get on board with it. But it's really, it's so much deeper than just conversation. It's how you talk to yourself and the way you treat people. You know, that's really kind of the imagery of beauty that I really want to capture, because all this shit can I curse on here?
Yes, of course.
Okay. All this shit that people be I'm a really vulgar person. I feel like people have this view that fat folks, especially brown fat folks, are supposed to portray themselves as, like, you know, very reserved, very quiet, because you don't have a voice. Because how could you have a voice if you're fat? If like, no, absolutely not. I don't want to be in a box. Sometimes I don't want to be understood. Sometimes I don't want people to get why I am the way that I am. I am this way because of hate. A lot of people have hated my body. While it's like, all right, every day I learn to love different parts of me. And again, nobody's complaining. Okay. So, and then to be, again, I don't want to say I'm as in this movement as I once was. I don't like to say I'm an activist. I like to just say I'm somebody who loves a lot, who cares a lot, who wants people to do good for themselves and for other people. I want people to make a change for the better for others, like to make sure that the communities that we're in are safe. I want people to accept folks just as they are, because we all look different. We all have different stories. And who are you to judge me? Because I am not sitting here judging you. So.
No, Elena, that I think it's something really crucial. You know, talking about sexy, talking about that. I've been in this journey for 26 years, and I remember the old organization I was in, wearing makeup was like, why are you wearing makeup? And why are you doing this? And I love selfies, okay? I fucking love selfies. I'm not going to apologize for it. And they're like, why are you taking so many selfies? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Because you're a bad bitch, that's why.
And then that day I decided to post a full body picture was like, you're sexualizing yourself. Why are you doing that to yourself? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's real.
You know what?
It's real.
This brings up a huge topic. And maybe this might ruffle some people's feathers a little the wrong way. But I guess that's kind of like what we're here to do a little bit. The over-sexualization of Indigenous women is a long, long history. We understand that. And in many ways, it shows up within our own community too. And also for fatter bodies, there's a lot of things that if we wear and thinner Indigenous women wear, they won't get anything said to them, but we will. It's okay to be pretty, but only if you're skinny. It's okay to wear this only if you're skinny. And this over-sexualizing of Indigenous women shows up for, I mean, this definitely shows up for all folks. But damn, I had the perfect words for it and then I lost it. But I want to be sexy. After years of people telling me that I wasn't, I want to be. And I want that to be okay. I don't want to bring shame to the movement where it's like, oh my gosh, she's over-sexualizing herself. And it's just like, yeah, because it's my body and I feel comfortable. And if we're really going to start going on this, like, what you can and cannot wear, that's colonial, trying to tell me everything that I cannot do and have control over my body is colonial.
Yeah.
This is my body and I choose what I want to wear. I put on every single bralette that I want to because I feel like it. Okay. And I want there to be a day where I can go into a meeting in my like sexy attire, not pajamas, you know, but like, you know, something very like cute that I feel comfortable in, that shows off the parts of me that I love, and it not be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because why do I have to hide myself? I've hidden myself for so long. Why do I have to continue to hide? Just to be, especially to be in this movement, why do I have to continue to hide? You know, and if you have like friends who really just vibe with you and amp you up, that your circle really changes the perspective you have on yourself. Like
Yep.
my sisters, but they're not my biological sisters, but they may as well be.
Yep.
None of them have ever judged me, you know, but all of them are very aware of the fatphobic language that they use, or not that they use, that surrounds us in this movement.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I went to the beach. I haven't put on a bathing suit in years. Okay. And this year I went and I was in a whole ass tankini because I wasn't ready for the bikini yet, but I went in a whole tankini and
Yes.
none of my girls were like judging. They were just like, yes, do you, it's your body. Like, you want to, you know how good that felt to have the water on all of my skin, to have the sun hit each part of me, to have that air just like lift everywhere and touch me. Do you know how good that felt and how empowering that felt? I haven't done that in years. And I deprived myself because of other people's opinions. And what for what? Like, our bodies were made for land. Like, this is literally what we're supposed to feel, is authentic joy. You know, we talk about indigenous joy, but not fat people because y'all don't look good doing it. Nah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yes. I love that, Elena. And and like, I think it's important to dismantle this for people watching. Being decolonized does not mean thinness. Self-love doesn't mean thin, because there's so much toxic crap out there. If she loved herself, she would be working out, she would be thin. If she was really decolonized, she would only be eating this and this and that. There's so much pressure. And what I want to get into now is, we have that sense, right? You're walking this earth with that message. You're being that, and then you create BrooklynWarmi. Like, where's the connection here? Like, how was that birthed? How did that become BrooklynWarmi? What was that for you?
Well, BrooklynWarmi was years, literally a decade in the making. It went from so many different aspects. My whole entire life, I've said to myself, like, I want to do something for my people, right? I want to do something that I can give back home. I want to do something that shows that we all don't look one way, you know? And there's times where I've been here within the last like 10 years since I've been trying to connect with other people from home, but who are here in the diaspora, where I walked in there and I'm like the fattest, I'm the brownest, and I'm like, okay, well, this was fun, awkward, I'm leaving, you know? And I wanted to show a different side, that we all don't look one way. And I wanted to show my child that as a single parent, I don't, you know, I can do it. And I can spread self-love while doing it. That you can do hard things while losing yourself and loving yourself and losing yourself again and loving yourself again. And you can still do great things, because it's not a one emotion kind of journey. This takes on a plethora of emotions on a constant basis. And I wanted to give back so bad. So which is why when I started BrooklynWarmi, I was like, you know, if I got it, like I have to give it. I want to give it. I want to give back. I want to be able to say I did something that impacted somebody. I want to be able to say like I had it and I was able to help somebody. And being fat while doing it. I think, you know, I relate to your workout picture because there's so many. This is why I don't show my body online, you know, because I'm scared of those comments. I'm scared of those reactions. And I feel like I've done so much self-work internally that I feel like those I don't know if I'm ready to challenge myself to those reactions yet. But you're absolutely right. People be like, oh, if she was really decolonized, she would not eat this. Like, okay, sure. Whatever. If you were decolonized, you wouldn't be trying to like tell me what to do. Okay. Also, like, bodies are just bodies. You know, they're just bodies. They fold, they bend, they jiggle, they wiggle, they dance, they play, they swim, they breathe. They're just bodies. They're just bodies for all this personality. And there is just, you know, as long as you treat people nice, but also, you know, just because you eat healthy doesn't mean that you won't be bigger bodied. Like, it's just, sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes people just want to be like, let people be who they want to be. You know, I was ready to come on here in a bralette and I was like, I don't know how much we doing on this.
Yes, however you be you, Elena.
This is the only fan.
Yeah. Oh. Let me show you mine.
Let me show you.
Elena, what does Warmi mean? BrooklynWarmi. What does Warmi mean?
So Brooklyn is, I grew up here in the diaspora, and though we do know it is stolen land, I did want to honor the personality. I don't even want to say personality because that feels wrong too. Where I was displaced to on paper, which is Brooklyn, right? And Warmi means woman in Quechua. And that's who I am. Like, the name for BrooklynWarmi actually came last 2020, like after the protests happened for Peru. I was able to figure out a name. Originally, I was Soli Sol, and then I was E the Sign. Like, I had so many different names for this, but the gist of it all was that I wanted to do something to give back. And I want to just create love. I want people to love themselves while decolonizing and know that it's not just a one-way street, that it looks different every day, and that you are beautiful every single day, no matter how many times your attitude towards yourself changes. Like, when I see other people like in this movement, I'm like, damn, you're so beautiful. So there's a lot of people who be like, oh my God, you're so forward. I'm like, nah, I'm here to remind you. I'm here to remind you that you're beautiful. Because if nobody's ever told you, and that happens, there's people who never heard that they're beautiful, which is very sad. But like, yo, we're mad beautiful. Like, we're mad beautiful. Yeah. Like, who was gonna say no to us?
Absolutely, absolutely. I did want to share. Speaking about bodies, I wanted to share a moment where I was invited to share poetry on a stage during a fashion show. This is like 3-4 years ago. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, my whole body is going to be up there. Like, and like all the, in the runway. And
oh my gosh.
So I was like, you know what I mean? So I challenged myself and I wore a tight dress. I was like, it is what it fucking is. I les voy. Bam, here I am. Here's my poem. And like, it was so liberating because I would usually wear something bigger and like be behind the scenes. I thought I was gonna be in the background, like say my poem, and then they're like in the front. But no, they're like, no, you're gonna be on stage, like right there. I was like, oh fuck. But honestly, like, people don't understand like how that's really challenging, even for myself that I've been doing this for a long time. but it felt liberating when I put my body there, and I know, and I was like, I already know people would be like, esta gorda, esta that, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, no. Like, I'm like, Fuji, Fuji, Fuji. I'm not going to think about that shit. Like, I'm going to think about those people that are like, wow, like, she's fucking confident. Yes, she's killing it. Yes. And I was like, those are the thoughts I'm going to tell myself.
Yo,
Because it's
I feel
real. This
you.
shit is real.
So I've never
But,
had
you
that
know,
moment, but I I kind of hope not to. I'm very shy in the public speaking. But I feel that because it's a very big fear. You know, when people have made fun of you for so long, getting up in front of a bunch of people to do anything feels like an attack. Like you're immediately
yeah.
on the defense. Um, I once had a homegirl take me out to a spa after I did a reading, the quickest reading of my life. I was like, da-da-da-da, and I literally stopped halfway through and I left. And she took me to a spa. And the masseuse was like, oh my God, you're like the most relaxed, tensest person I've ever massaged. I know, don't touch me. But, you know, it's safe spaces where I feel comfortable speaking. Rest in peace to my really good friend, Bev, who passed away last year. So I did one of my poems, first like big actual that I got through poem. And she came with me. Where was this? This was at Star Bar in Brooklyn, like maybe 2017, 2018. And she just kind of hyped me up the entire time. She's like, you look so beautiful. You got this. And I was reciting it for her. Sorry, like it's about to be a year since she's gone. So I'm like I'm still very emotional about her. But she was like, you got this, you got this. Like you look beautiful and don't worry about what anybody else says about you. And, you know, I recited my poem and she was just like jumping for joy. She's like, you didn't let anybody stop you. You didn't let anybody get in your head. Like you just did that because you did that. And, you know, I know that she'd be very proud of the progress I've made in loving myself now. Because even 2017, like that wasn't that long ago. And like I was having these conversations with her then. And I have these conversations with a lot of my friends, but obviously like this one, because she passed away. But you know, she was somebody who would be so proud because that one poem, I got through it all without leaving the stage, without like almost feeling like I'm gonna barf during the middle of it. This is very rare. Usually like I'll be like da-da-da, and like walk off. Like I won't finish anything. So to finish that poem there was something very big. And I kind of got a little more confidence in speaking about things as opposed to not, because it was just all it took was that one poem. All it took was being on that one stage for less than 2 minutes to speak my shit, and it changed me in some way. I was like, I don't want to be silent anymore, you know. So sorry.
No, please don't apologize, Elena. Thank you. Thank
But
you. I want to get into, because I watch your lives, I watch what you post, and everything is interconnected in a way that's really uplifting. Like when you recently with the oil spills that happened back home,
more crying.
and and I know you don't call yourself an activist, but you are part of two collectives where you're amplifying two different things, maybe two different focuses, or can you
Well,
tell us a little bit about that?
yeah. So the Pumas Collective, shout out to the Pumas Collective. We're a bunch of diasporic Peruvians seeking for justice and liberation of Peru. So anything that kind of happens down there where injustice has been done or where we can help an organization, we're there. We want to show up. We want to show support. And Peruvians for Social Justice is an organization of Andean adoptees. We say Peruvian because technically, because it's Peru and that's like the name given, but we are Andean people. We are all Indigena. Well, I think there's like, no, yeah, we're all Indigenous. Yeah, all of us. Um, and we're all adopted, and we want to give back to our country. And recently, we met with the Peruvian embassy in Peru, which was super dope.
Wow.
And yeah, we really want to help get a pathway to citizenship for folks here in the diaspora, starting with adoptees, and maybe and definitely going towards the path of undocumented. Like it's just it goes into so much. This is only the beginning. Even for my brand, like BrooklynWarmi, I want it to flourish in some other way. I want to shop. I want workshops where people can feel safe, where it's like a community space and people can like feel like, oh, here's a bunch of other like Indigena people around me, like community. But yeah, these two collectives are so passionate and such good people that it's like, it really is who you surround yourself with. And these people have all become my family, have all become my friends, have all become people who you want around you on a daily basis. And each of them is trying to do something amazing for our home country. Because I think a lot of us feel out of place here sometimes. And some of us can't go back home for whatever reasons that we have. And, for adoptees, even like we want to bring awareness that we exist. And that's another thing with self-love, is existing in whiteness. Because that was a lot of us, and still is a lot of us, to love yourself in whiteness as you are, and understand that the body that you have, for instance, so my mom here, my adoptive parents are white, right? And I want to debunk this real fast while I'm here. Just because somebody is adopted, it does not mean that they have the best life. They did not luck out. We are not in the perfect situation. Families are families, but to exist in whiteness has been traumatizing. Being with a parent who didn't give birth to you and doesn't understand that your body operates differently as a child is hard, and it's traumatic, and it's nothing I wish on anybody. Like I said, I have very broad shoulders. Like this camera won't show, but I have very broad shoulders. And it took me a long time to really understand my body. And my mom did the best that she could with not shaming me, but I could see, sometimes the way that she would like stare as like I would walk into a room and like, all the eyes go to the belly, and it's just like, all right, but like I'm sexy. And and that's with a lot of people. It's a lot. It's a lot to love yourself, and it's a struggle to always say nice things, but in the end, like you have to, because you have to love you first. The world's gonna think what the world's gonna think, but you have to also be a good person. But yeah, existing in whiteness as adoptees, like it's super hard. So that's that. But these
Thank
two
you for.
collectives are beautiful. Okay, so you guys should all go follow the Pumas Collective, Peruvians for Social Justice, and we're still taking donations to help clean up the oil spill in Peru. So check it
And
out.
they're on here on Instagram, right? Those
Yes,
two pages are here on Instagram.
2 pages. Pumas Collective is
Beautiful.
at Pumas Collective, PUMAS Collective. And Peruvian Social Justice is just Peruvian Social Justice here on Instagram. And yeah, we're just trying to do something good. Oh yes, thank you,
Beautiful.
Tere.
Thank you. Please follow everyone. Please follow those two collectives. I didn't know about Pumas Collective. I need to follow Pumas Collective, but I do follow Peruvian Social Justice. We have a few more minutes. If folks have questions for Elena, please ask them now. I didn't get any ahead of time. Did you get any questions, Elena, ahead of
No,
time?
I'm also shy.
Okay.
But you know, I just really want to thank you for this opportunity to talk, because like I said, I do view you as one of the pioneers in this decolonization movement, and it did something for me to see somebody who kind of resembled me even back then, you know. um and you've been in this for like 20 something years, you know,
Thank
which is
you.
amazing. And I think something that I've really learned from you is to not get attached to knowledge, you know, because you know you're and it definitely goes in with like my own thinking of, you know, there's not just one way to do anything, you know, you're
Yeah.
gonna get to 10 several different ways, you know. um but there's just no one way to
Exactly.
decolonize. But I think if
Exactly.
and it's not just social media, y'all. Like, it's not like you gotta take yourself off social media and be about it in real life. Like, if you
Yes.
see injustice, say something. If you see something
Yes.
doing wrong in person, say something. And treat others in the way that you really want to be treated, because that's also decolonization within ourselves.
Yes.
Like, and you know, but and you know, if you're a big body person, being that sexy, because it took a long ass time. And I'm sure for you as well, like, to just to feel sexy. Like, I want to be
Yes.
decolonized. I want to be sexy. I want to hold my
Yes.
sign, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hold my
Yes.
decolonized sign with a
Yes.
bra on and my skirt, because I can. Because I
Yes.
don't want like all these rules, how we have to look, especially as bigger bodied people. Like, it's bullshit. It's
Yep.
bullshit, you know. And
Yep.
all this fat phobia is,
Yep.
don't bring that around here. Don't bring it around
Exactly.
here. I like, we've
Exactly.
heard enough of it. And what you see on social media is only just like a percentage of
Exactly.
what we look like. You know,
Yes.
social media has people thinking that we all are like, we all look the same, and it's like, baby, we don't look the same. Okay, look at you. You're so beautiful. Like,
Thank you.
it's we gotta,
No.
well, yo, when we if we link up ever, we gotta be like we gotta wear like the sexiest clothes
Oh
we have.
yes. Oh
Okay,
yes. Let's do
okay.
this. No, and then I want to share two things. I remember the complexion that I had was because I was like my big face, right? So ever since I was small, I was like, I have a big fat face and I have a big fat face. And so anyway, so a relative of mine, shout out with Yolo, he was like, no, that's just your face. Like, you're just born with a big face. Like, you're big. Like, that's not like a bad thing. Like, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
fat face. Like, you have a face. Like, you're big. Like, oh, I don't know. It was very liberating the way he said it. And I was
Oh,
like, yes. Because I was always like, my cachetes are so big and this. And then I don't have like a pear shaped body. So for so many years,
that
Elena, I was trying to like fit into this fucked up ass fajas until one day and my partner would look at me like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. It's gonna mold me into this thing."
hold
And I'm
it, help
ready
me
to
in, help me
colonize
in.
it, okay? And he's like, "But okay." So then one day I fucking took that shit off. I was like, "You know what? This is my body. I don't have the pear shape. This is my
Nope.
shape. I fucking love it. Why am I fucking trying to fit into this fucking thing? You know, de hule." But I was like, that's to show you I'm already in this process of decolonization and I still had these ideas. And I was just like, what the fuck? It was getting to me. And I'm like, no.
Yes,
So it's a daily thing, like you're saying. I'm like, I love my big face. I don't
yes,
have a fucking cinturita. It
yep.
is what fucking is like, and love it because it's all
Listen,
us.
listen, these back rolls, baby, okay, they just need a little butter. But I really want to say this another thing too. There's certain fat bodies that are more accepted than others. And that is even something that we have to go into as well. Maybe not
Yes.
now, at another time, because I know we got to wrap up in a minute. But we don't all have pear shapes, okay? I'm, like I said, I'm all belly, okay? And nobody's complaining. I'm gonna keep saying it, okay? um, but it really is just like, we all look so different. And maybe this is just me, and maybe I'm a little biased, because I always root for those who are bigger bodied. So whenever I see somebody, I'm like, and like if it's between like, oh my gosh, this is bad. I'm gonna say it anyway though.
Say it.
If I see like two thinner people and like a bigger body person, I'm like, yeah, my bigger body bitch, you better fucking go. Like you better win, you know? But that's just because of all the years of people like telling me that I couldn't win. And I know
Yep.
what that's like. And look at us. We're out here winning. Like
Yes.
every
We we have two comments on here real quick. Let's see. Um, one person said they didn't. Oops, did I just delete them? Someone was saying, are there workshops for Peruvian? Oh, here we go. Here we go. So we have VB6 says, not a question, but you both are inspiring. Thank you. And the second person, underscore lloviendo, says, please have some online workshops. I'm a Peruvian living in Australia and love listening to you both.
Okay, well, you see, with my business, I'm trying to do so many different avenues. Like jewelry is just the basis. You know, jewelry has always been the basis. And I love that people feel empowered with it. That's the point. I put so much love and intention and thought into it. And it's my baby. Like I said, it's my second birth. I am in love with BrooklynWarmi. Okay. I love it. And it I just want to continue to flourish, and I want to continue to give people beautiful things, and I want to continue to make people feel beautiful. I want to continue to make community feel like we're actually here together. You know, I want to point out when things aren't fair. I want to be able to say like, hey, are you like, you know, I don't know. There's just so much I want to do. And I'm only one person. I'm a one person team. I do this by myself. My daughter does some of the post office runs. So if your package is late, it's because she didn't do it. But yeah, like, yeah,
It's
I'm so ready
coming.
to
It's
flourish.
coming.
Timing is everything. So
Yes. And with that, we have about a minute. Elena, any last thoughts you want to share with our beautiful audience? Just for people that know, I'm going to be uploading this on YouTube. So it is here. It's going to be here. I'm going to save it here. I want to archive it. But I'm also going to upload it on YouTube because I have a YouTube, I have a TikTok, and I like to
you are
amplify.
so technology savvy.
True.
I cannot
I
do TikTok.
try. No, because I want to amplify. Like, my biggest passion is to amplify folks who are doing the damn thing and who are fucking changing everything that we must be changed and healing. Because this is very healing at the end of the day. That's what it's so important for me to have you here, Elena, and share space with you because I'm
Oh,
telling
thank
you
you.
two things I stand by. And it is be who you needed when you were younger. That's what I'm trying to be. And that's what I see you being, and also create what we wish existed, right? You're creating what you wish existed. You're being the person you needed. And that's fucking powerful. And I want people to know that. And I want people to know, like, there's another way to live this life outside of these domains and these cages, and that we're fucking beautiful and that we're thriving and that we're creative with all of our everything, every inch of us, every cell in our body is meant for love, is meant to be celebrated and embraced.
Yes.
So that's why you're here, and that's why I'm going to put it on YouTube, I'm put it on TikTok, and I'm going to put it everywhere. And I'll, yeah. But Elena, any last words for folks that tuned in tonight?
Just try. You know, you're gonna fail a lot at loving yourself sometimes, and just continue to try. It's not. It's an ever ongoing journey, and through it all, like, your beauty is gonna be there. You know, love the little parts of you. Love your mistakes. Love the things that you regret doing, because your self-love is based on so much more than just the mistakes. You know, your self-love is based on your wins. Your self-love is based on, it's based on everything. I don't really have any like solid words. I just know that all of us are capable of getting there. all of us are capable of saying, you know what, like, I'm beautiful today, I'm beautiful tomorrow, and I'm beautiful for whatever reason I feel like I'm beautiful for. Like, there's no one way. And
That's all solid.
I
Elena, what are you
don't know what
talking
to
about?
say.
That's all solid. Shit.
I'm glad we
No,
can curse on here because I was like, yes.
yes. No, of course, of course. No, Elena, thank you so much for accepting, to be here with me, to share
Yes.
space,
Thank
to
you.
be brave and be radically vulnerable, because we need to practice more of that. It's very healing and liberating. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for what you're doing. I want to thank you
Thank you.
for what you're gonna do, and for just being you. Like, I want to thank you for just being you, because you being you allows me to be me
Yes.
in a way that is more freeing and liberating. So I want to celebrate you. I want to honor you. I want to amplify you. So
Thank
please,
you.
everyone watching, follow BrooklynWarmi, amplify her, share the beautiful jewelry. Even if you're not Peruvian, shoot, I'm gonna buy myself some too, even if I'm not Peruvian. I'm
Baby,
supporting.
we got non-Peruvian stuff, okay?
Yes, no, beautiful. Like, fuck colonial borders. That
Oh,
necklace that came
that's gonna
out.
drop soon, okay? So keep the
Yes,
watch. I'm only making 100.
yes, no, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So, Elena, thank you, thank you, thank you again for being here, for sharing space with me. And again, anything I can do to continue being supportive, let me know. I'm here. We're in community. And again, thank you for being you and showing up. I'm
Thank you.
inspired. Everybody, thank you. I don't see any more questions or comments. So with that, we will call it a night. Everyone,
Yes.
thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to save this for y'all to come back and watch it, because I know people are going to want to rewatch it because it's so fucking badass. So it's going to be here for y'all. It's going to be on YouTube. So please share it with people that need to hear this. Please listen to it if it helps you on your journey. I know I'm going to listen to this a few times too. So love yourselves, love each other, love everything about us. Everybody,
Everything.
yes.
Everything. Listen, I'm
Thank
flawed, but
you.
I'm solid, okay? Like,
Yes,
that's it.
that's right. Thank you, Elena. Thank you again. Have a beautiful night.
Thank you.
And
You
with
too,
that, we'll
love.
call it a night.
Bye.
Buenas noches. Thank you.